Charlie, do you want to do the intro for once?
Alright, as you saw from the title of the video, today we are ranking the 2024 F1 drivers. At the top, the drivers that we thought performed the best over the course of the season. Stroll has a permanent position here, that cannot be argued. After that, it's great, then okay, or mid, and then poor, and then at the bottom is useless.
So the way we're going to do this is go up from the bottom of the F1 standings to the top and try and agree on the same tier list. It's kind of like the track one. Yeah, whatever. Yay! Charlie doesn't want to include Jack Doohan because he did one race.
Charlie's a bit.
It's not fair on him or anyone to. He
Yes,
adds
it
nothing
is.
to the tier list. He's obviously going to go at the bottom because he only had one race and it was basically a practice session for him for 2025.
Yeah, to be fair, I agree. I don't think there's any point including him. But Rob has opinions. Is a sentence that no one ever wants to hear. Go on, Rob. What are your opinions?
Bro turned up and did fuck all.
Is that
Thank
it?
you.
What?
He didn't go anywhere. He didn't try anything. He was boring. He was slow in an Alpine car that had improved over the recent races, even though it was still undeniably quite shit. He just did fuck all. So it was awful. Get him out of the car.
You
Twat.
miserable bastard. It was his first time in a race situation and he himself said he's not going to do anything stupid and he's just going to build experience.
If he's not going to risk anything, why is he there?
Because it was his first
Put him
race.
in poor.
Yeah,
Put him in poor.
Fine.
I don't think he
No,
should
I
be in
can't. It's his first race, Rob. Considering Flav doesn't even want him in the fucking seat in the first place, I think you did alright. Anyway, right. Let's move on to the real drivers. I believe bottom of the standings is Logan Sargent. Next is Valtteri Bottas, who I see.
I put him poor.
Yeah, I don't know, because on paper he got no points. That's sad.
He got outperformed by Zhou.
Yeah,
No,
like,
he didn't.
once. He got outperformed on paper, right? Look at the race results. Come on.
This brother is 22nd.
Yeah, Rob, you can't just look at what's on paper. Zhou finished basically last in almost every fucking race. Bottas at least tried things. He showed...
Bottas also was the workhorse for the entire season, like testing, setups and everything. Unlike Joe, he has useful feedback. I think put him in poor though, because objectively, it was a bad season. It wasn't all his fault, but I think I can't justify putting him in an okay with some of the drivers that we're going to put in the okay.
Yeah, next we have Liam Lawson.
Lawson for me is in the okay. Above doing.
Obviously.
He did okay, had some decent results, but still is yet to show anything brilliant.
Exactly.
I don't think we can judge him too harshly.
Yeah, well, we don't need to go into that. We've spoken far too much about Liam Lawson on this channel. Next up is Zhou Guanyu.
Arse end of poor. No.
I put him in okay.
I think he's in poor. But
I'm sorry, Rob. I'm sorry.
I put him in okay.
Why?
At the back end of okay,
Why?
but I think he's okay.
Are you in an outpatient program?
Look, at the back end of the season, he started to perform decently.
No, brother.
Let's
That's
just...
like, if you include retirements, it doesn't look good.
It doesn't look good,
I
bro.
just-
The only reason he
think
was further ahead at the start of the year is because Alpine was fucking useless. That's it.
I just think with the car and the package that he had been handed, I think he did okay.
But you put
I-
Bottas
Not
in
brilliant.
poor.
Yes, because Bottas should be doing better than.
Joe behind Bottas in poor, and there'll be drivers that go in between them later down the line, I think.
Is my opinion doesn't count then? Stick as per usual.
It's bad, and my opinion is the compromise between both of yours. So,
No, you're a dickhead. Fuck off.
This happens every time. You ask for...
he's above Lawson in okay. Yeah, he's there. Yep, I agree.
He's there.
I think
He's alright. He kind of lost it at the end of the year. That was that. So, yeah.
to be honest though, like people's perspective got warped after Brazil because they were like, oh well, he did good in the other races, but like Brazil, he did terrible. But like that is his first time. I might be mistaken, but that's his first time driving an F1 car in the rain.
Yeah, it was.
He did have 2 DNFs at the end of the season in Qatar and Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like,
Every other race that he drove in, he was doing pretty good. Other than maybe Vegas, they came 14th. The rest of them are, 12th to 8th. That's pretty solid.
To be fair to him, in Abu Dhabi, he got rear-ended by Piastri. That wasn't his fault. And in Vegas, yeah, he did hit the wall. But
I think he's only done, so many races in F1 now. Like, he's still new. He's still learning. You've got to give him some respect on it.
He doesn't have a seat next year, which is fucking criminal, so...
Behrman's above Colapinto in OK.
You're fucking... No.
No, he is. Because he only did...
He's not.
I'm sorry, are we forgetting Jeddah? He still came 7th in his first ever race in F1.
In a Ferrari.
Sorry, let's just not forget. The F2 race that he qualified for the day before, he put it on pole, and yet he couldn't compete in that race because he got called up so late into F1 in a Ferrari, and he came 7th.
Hello Oliver. We need you to race Formula 1. Come immédiatement. That is all. Bye bye.
Huh? Yeah, but brother, it's a Ferrari. It's going to be there anyway. And if you look at the other races that he did, the other two in Azerbaijan and Sao Paulo. Sorry, he got 1 point in Azerbaijan.
Yeah,
okay.
Good enough.
In Sao Paulo, yeah, and the house was decent. You can't deny that the house was decent.
Yeah, but still, okay, you say it's a Ferrari, but he's like 15. Like he's a rookie. It was his first race. It's at Jeddah, which is a horrible track to have your first race in an F1 car. And he still came 7th. I mean, that's incredible.
I don't want to put him above... I don't know where to put him. Because I don't want to put him behind Lawson. But...
He's above Lawson.
These two have had several races. Ollie's had, what, 3?
Yeah.
I can't judge it.
For the Franco fans watching this, I love Franco, and he did incredibly well this season. In my opinion, he was one of the most impressive storylines that happened this season. But just like Franco, you can't judge Brazil with Behrman because, again, just like Franco, it was his first time. But looking at his other 2 races, he scored points in both of them.
You have to argue that in all his races, he's had a better package in the car than the Williams has been.
Yeah, and
that hasn't been better.
He delivered in both. I mean,
oh, sorry. The Ferrari. We all know what I'm not impressed by that. And the Haas is better than the Williams, and he only got 1 point. Like,
only got a point, and it's his second race in F1 in a Haas. I mean, you can't say only. A point is like winning in the Haas.
Right, next we have Ricciardo.
Poor.
I think Ricciardo's in between Bottas and Zhou.
I agree. He's shit. There's no other way I can put it. I'm sorry to... I don't think Theo even watches these videos. I'm sorry to the Ricciardo fans that are still left out there, but he just wasn't there this year. It's over.
He was absolutely shite.
It was sad to watch because I think Ricciardo will always be remembered for the glory days of the atrocious dive bombs that he pulled. I don't even know how he made those moves work, and it was incredible to watch. And it just was sad this year. He faded, just like Lightning McQueen. He's faded, and yeah, I think I can't justify putting him over Bottas because I think Bottas did have some good performances for what that kick Sauber was.
It's sad because, the thing is, they wouldn't have put him back in that seat if they didn't honestly think he could go back to Red Bull. Charlie, at the start of the year, you were coping so fucking hard, thinking he was gonna Oh, he did that. He did a lap in Silverstone that would have put him on par with Max. It's like...
Yeah, which is what Red Bull was saying, and from the data that they had, I mean, he did do well in that thing. Whether or not, if he'd just been in that Red Bull and that Red Bull would have worked better for him than that RB, I don't know, and we'll never know. But we can only go off what we have, and what we have is that he, compared to everyone's expectations, he under-delivered, and I think that's. Yeah, I think that position there in between the stakes drivers is exactly where he needs to be.
Yeah. The cope went on for a very long time.
Oh.
Okay, Albon.
Poor. He was poor.
Poor?
No,
he's poor.
He's okay, and he's above Colapinto. He's above Colapinto.
I don't think so.
Brother, come on.
Right. Can I resurface what you said in our rookie video, which is now completely outdated? You said either Colapinto is the second coming of Christ or Albon's not as good as we thought he was. Because
Yep.
Colapinto showed him up fucking big time. Straight into that car, first time he's ever driven it, and he was making Albon look like a dickhead. How can you... I'm not being funny. Albon, for the last 3 years, has been stat padding against two of the worst drivers this sport has ever seen. Not ever, okay? Maybe in the last 20 years. But
I mean, Rio Haryanto would have been decent against Latifi, but you know.
Oh, that's great, isn't it? Just got to be taken by Haryanto. It's going to cost us time. I know he thinks he's quick, but he's not.
Gaston Mazecan might have given him a run for his money.
Let me justify myself before I get crucified by the Argentinian wave of hate. I think Colapinto did really well, but at the end of the day, he only had half a season. Oi, moving back. No, don't stop me.
oh no! I can't.
Put him in purgatory.
Once they're on the tier list, they're stuck there.
Okay, I think that because he did a full season and Colapinto didn't, I think he deserves to be ahead of Colapinto just because he did put in some good results.
Sorry, he did his job.
Season. Colapinto only had half a season, and for one reason or another, he did cost the team a lot of money. I think Albon, it would be a disservice to Albon to put Colapinto above him for this season. If they had a full season together, do I think Colapinto would have outperformed and outscored Albon over the course of the whole season? No, I don't. Only because Albon has the experience over him. Can you honestly say, with chest, that if both of them started the season at the start of the season and had a full season, Colapinto would outperform Albon?
Yes.
No.
Colapinto had a higher points to race ratio than Alex Albon did by a significant degree.
But it's all up in the air because they didn't have an equal amount of races. I think Albon would have outperformed Colapinto over the course of the full season. I think that's a fact. I think experience would come into play. Look at Brazil, for example. Colapinto crashed three times during the course of that weekend, all because he didn't have experience in the rain. Now, what else did he have experience over the course of conditions of the season?
Sorry, I'm eating a chocolate orange.
Albon didn't take part in Brazil, so you can't compare the two there.
No, that's true. But I think,
as Jimmy's been saying, Albon has been stat padding against some horrendous drivers in his time. And believe me, I fucking love the guy. I do. But this season hasn't been great. He should be doing better. He should be doing a lot better.
I'm going to leave him here. Just barely. Okay, Kevin Magnussen, who looks like a fucking scaffolder in this picture.
I think he's okay.
No,
I think he was okay.
No, above Bottas.
No. He was near the lower end of okay, but I think he was in okay.
Brother, he was a terrorist for a lot of the season.
Yeah,
I'll repeat myself for that video. He played the team game and was good at it.
Yeah, but he was inherently slower than Hulkenberg.
The thing is...
Yeah, I'm not denying that. But I think he did okay.
The thing is, he was a terrorist, but it was funny. So...
It was funny. And he did score, he did get, 16 points.
But...
Which is okay.
There is a reason he's not on the grid next year.
Yes, he's old and slow and doesn't, he used to be really good, but now he's got a family and a kid, he's lost his edge.
How many times did Hulkenberg get in Q3 in that Haas? How many times did...
Brother, right. Not referencing other drivers, we're about K-Mag.
Yeah.
Right, do you know what? Considering this isn't really a category for doing, arse end of okay, do we think that's a fair place?
Yep.
Because I don't think pause really... I don't know. But I think arse end of okay. Because he had a couple of good things, but he wasn't just completely boring and uninspiring. He was just shit.
Puts him in poor. I think he's
no
poor. The only way you can gauge a driver's performance across the season meaningfully is to look at their performance against their teammates.
Yeah, but you'd suck the cock of Hulkenberg to see what he's made of.
Yeah, because you just like K-Mag because he was an absolute weapon and he mirrored your driving style in F1 23.
Jamie, look at this. Look at this.
I know you're blind there.
I told you I was on the outside.
Bang.
Well, you
I don't think it's a reaction because your back tyre touches my wheel. You cunt.
That's your fault.
I'm turning to try to avoid you, dickhead.
I'm not turning at all because I'm leaving you so much room. You can see
I'm
it
in
on my
front of
tyres.
you here.
Yeah.
You come And you're not there.
No, that's his
That's
fault.
your fault. That's your
Ocon, Esteban, Ocon, Esteban.
Okay, middle of
Above, no. Behind Lawson, above K-Mag.
I can agree to that.
I think that's a bit harsh, but
I mean, I would have put him a bit higher. I'd have put him higher than Behrman and Lawson.
I think we
But-
have to mention the fact that after Monaco and after it was announced that he would be leaving Alpine left him in the mud
Yeah.
in terms of giving up.
I'd also like to point out Brazil, second.
yeah, I'm sorry, no, I'm leaving him up. I'm moving him up.
In a shitbox Alpine for a team that don't care about him, that's pretty incredible.
The thing is, right, everyone shits on Ocon so much because, yeah, he's a fucking terrible teammate, but he's not that bad of a driver. Like,
He's a good driver.
he's put in a fucking shift this year, and as you say, Alpine left him in the mud. Everyone just looks at the results, right? But because a majority of F1 fans don't seem to watch the fucking races anymore, they forget that actually he did alright.
Given the races that Behrman raced, I think Behrman should be above Ocon just because of
Well,
with no.
you're insane.
Come on, he came 7th in a Ferrari when he didn't know.
He came second in an Alpine!
Yeah, I know, but look at the fucking context between those things.
Second in an Alpine in a rainy Brazil.
The 1-2, by the way.
He came second
There wasn't
in a rainy
a one,
Brazil.
what are you talking about?
Yeah, Gasly won, didn't he?
No,
Hold on, you fucking idiot.
Gasly came 3rd. Right, cut that.
no, I'm not cutting that.
No,
Alright, you know what, I'll do it.
No.
Yes. They got lucky in Brazil. That's why they got a double podium.
You got lucky. Oh, sorry, I'm not going to say that. That's mean.
I miss Sam in our group chat.
Do we need to say anything about Lance Stroll, or just put him where he deserves to be?
He's in front of
Correct
he's in
decision.
front of Sargent.
No,
He came sixth once. Belter.
Yeah, and all Sargent did was bin it in the wall. The reason why I think Stroll is above Sargent is because Stroll, like normal, does 90 shit races and then a couple of good performances. This season, it's the same story. However, compared to Sargent showed no promise whatsoever. And whilst Stroll at least showed no promise whatsoever for 90%, and then, like normal, entirely mid for the rest of it, which is still shit, but it's still better than Sargent. It's comparing crap and poo.
I kind of forgot that Aston existed for much of this year. There are two incidents that come to mind with Stroll this year. When he fisted Daniel Ricciardo in China, and when he beached it in Brazil, fucking up the entire race.
Yuki Tsunoda. I put Tsunoda in OK.
I too would put him in okay, but where?
I don't know, Jeff, has it?
I put him behind Ocon.
No.
No, put him one in front of Ocon.
Okay, I can attend to that.
I think Ocon and Tsunoda's definitely done enough to deserve being
But
above him.
behind Behrman?
Oh yeah, 2 out of the 3 races he competed in were in the points. 1 of them were in a Haas. What I think when I look at the OK bracket, Yuki's perfect right there because he had an entirely mid-season, whilst the drivers above him in the OK thing actively did well.
You know why I want to put him above Behrman though? Right?
Why?
There are 2 other RB drivers here, and they're both below him. He outperformed both of them. He's above. I know they're not going to be above him in the points because they only had half a season each, but
Yeah,
I can't. I don't know, man. I can't put him below a bloke that had 3 races.
Yeah, but I also think, looking at that, he beat a fading Daniel Ricciardo, congratulations, and it wasn't even by that much. And then he beat Lawson, not by that much, and Lawson's a rookie. So it's not that impressive.
Beware Charlie's massive boner. It's Nico Hulkenberg.
No, I'm sorry, he's in great. I'm sorry, there's no argument here. He's in great.
He's in top end of OK for me.
But we need someone in great. Look, he outperformed that car, I think.
I'm sorry, I think Hulkenberg, he's not going in God tier, but I think he was one of the most impressive drivers this year. I think he was. I think he's not, as I say, he's not in God tier because I think there was drivers who did better. However, what he did in that Haas, he proved if he gets put in a top tier car, he will do well and he will get a podium.
Are we going for the line of he outperformed the car, or he's performing where the car should be? Because previously you said he showed up Magnussen, by performing as well. Is there a double standard going on? Because you're saying, oh yeah, Magnussen didn't do as well as Hulkenberg. Yada. That's why K-Mag was shy. But Hulkenberg outperformed the car, so you can't compare the two. Which one is it?
Okay, well, if you're going down that way, if you're saying that, he was just putting where the car was, and Magnussen...
No. All I'm saying is, which line of argument are you going to go with? Because you can't go for both.
What I'm saying, I could flip that argument and say, if you're saying that Haas was just where Hulkenberg should be, then Magnussen should be way further down on this list than what you've said, because he was so shit.
What I'm saying is, you say, though, you're comparing the two drivers for how they've done in the season. You put Magnussen further down because he didn't compete as well as Hulkenberg did. But now you're saying Hulkenberg outperformed the car. Which one is it?
They're two sides of the same coin.
Yeah, I'm saying Hulkenberg
It's not.
Yeah, I am. Listen. Oh my fucking god. I'm saying that Hulkenberg outperformed the car and Magnussen didn't perform as well as the car should do. The car performance lies somewhere in the middle of the gap between the two drivers.
Top end of okay. That's roughly.
No, I'm happy with great, honestly. I think we're 2 against 1 here. Sorry. Pierre Gasly.
Pierre Gasly, God tier.
Great.
What?
I'm sorry, he didn't. I'm saying he's in great and he's behind Nico.
Rob,
Nico did.
Rob, give me one reason he should be in God tier.
Let me explain myself, alright? Out of the entire season, he finished 10th. In an Alpine, which at the start of the season was pulling entirely back of the grid performances. You can't deny it, that's something pretty special. Can I point out in Qatar, he finished 5th in the Alpine. In Abu Dhabi, 7th. And I'd like to point out the fact that he's the first driver in history to have not cost his team a single penny. That is special in and of itself.
Can I point out that Alpine upgraded the car?
I'm saying, where they were at the start of the season, compared to the back end of the season, and how he performed, I think is something pretty special.
I think that Gasly was good enough to be put in God tier. He was very good. I'll put him in great. I'm happy with that.
Before they started shafting Ocon and giving Gasly all the upgrades, they were fairly equal.
Yeah.
Whilst Hulkenberg slapping up K-Mag the entire year. Can I also say...
Still on about Hulkenberg.
I'm probably going to go through the races and see who beat who in which race.
Oh, for fuck's sake. We're going to be on, like, Verstappen. You'll still be arguing about this.
Jamie, be serious here.
Brother, you went... Jamie?
No, Jamie's in the light here. Because, I mean... No, Jamie...
I'm not talking to you, right?
What else can Hulkenberg do? Literally, what else can he do this season to have proven that he needs to
beat Pierre Gasly?
But, brother... Oh, my God.
Who's next, Rob?
Fucking Alonso.
Fucking Alonso. Do you know what?
He's above Stroll. No, he's above Stroll.
No.
He's above Stroll. No, objectively.
He's not. He's not. He's there.
Yes, he was bad, and I know he was bad. But given how he started the season, and given what he was doing in Baku before Sainz decided to dribble, I think he does deserve to be above Stroll.
Yeah, but what he was doing in Baku is what he should have been doing the whole year, man.
Yeah, I know. But he showed sparks of talent that Stroll can only dream of.
My granddad can drive better, and he's been cremated.
He is the only reason Red Bull didn't win Constructors this year.
Yeah, I know, but how many points did Stroll bleed from Aston? Like,
That's not the same though, man. When you're in a top team, the top team in Formula 1, you can't occasionally have a good race. You need to be having a good race every race. So it's not comparable to Stroll, who's shit, and has always been shit.
I'm sorry, thank fuck he's out the sport, the fucking twat.
I can deal with him being behind Stroll, but I think that Stroll was worse.
And I think you're doing a Sargent a disservice here, because I think he was improving.
Sorry. There's no way I'm doing Sargent. I think Sargent himself would agree with me.
In my table, Sargent beat Stroll, Perez, and Doohan.
Doohan?
I fucking hate that guy, man. I can't stand that guy.
He hasn't done anything.
You're hating on a fetus that hasn't started with life.
Brother, Doohan finished the race. That automatically makes him better than Sargent.
Sargent has had points before. Doohan hasn't. There we go. My opinions are formulated. We'll move on to the next driver, Lewis Hamilton. Brilliant.
Above
Even
Gasly,
okay.
above Gasly, but behind Nico. He won 2 races this season. He won 2 races that we can't put.
Yeah, one of them he didn't deserve to win. Belgium was George Russell's win. He got started.
He had an illegal car. That was the only reason he beat Lewis.
That one tweet still stands out to me as true every single fucking time, right? You can start George at the front of the grid, and you can start Lewis at the back, and they will finish the race together some way. And
That's why
happens,
George Russell outscored him this season. Sick.
Yeah, because oh my god, I'm sorry. This is he won multiple races this season. Yes, he didn't have a good season by his standards because his standards are through the roof. People always judge Lewis based on all his past seasons. He still had an incredible season this season. It just wasn't that good compared to what he normally is.
Yeah.
Hence why he's behind Nico.
but let's be real.
I don't think he's ahead of Gasly. Fuck off, is he?
Look, I'm not being funny, right? I'm not going to go into all they're sabotaging him shit, because that's bollocks. But let's be real. They did shaft him this year a little bit. Some of the strategy calls with Lewis were fucking mind-boggling. I don't get it. And, you know, a few times he went out in qualifying and he was saying, my tyres are freezing cold, what the fuck? Which is a bit weird. So, I don't know, man. I'm just saying, they haven't exactly been good to him this year. And to do what he did with that utter shitbox of a car is astounding. Yeah? And I can't put him behind Pierre Gasly. I know that Gasly did well this year, but...
Lewis won 2 races at the end of the day. I was there at Silverstone, and but he was under so much pressure from Verstappen, who was in the much better car from start to finish, no matter what position he was in throughout the course of the race. The way he controlled that race is something only he could have done. I think Nico had the better season than Lewis, because yes, Lewis had the lows were very low with Lewis, whether it was his fault or not. I know
Brazil was horrible to watch.
But the highs we cannot ignore. And I cannot justify putting someone who won multiple races this season any lower than he is right now.
Who's next?
George Russell.
George Russell.
He did great.
No, God tier. He's had a really good season. As a Lewis fan, George has had a really good
He won 2 races, should have won 3, got taken away from him. Didn't finish in Britain. Piss take. You know,
Yeah.
I think he did great.
As a Lewis fan, I think George has done what he needed to do this season to prove to Mercedes that once Lewis goes, he can inherit that position as a team leader.
I'm just glad he got rid of that hair, man. Fucking hell, look at that.
Yeah, that hair's poor. You've done him dirty.
Looks like me in year 10.
He went to the barber and said, "Can I get the 11-year-old boy haircut, please?" His racecraft has come on so much this season.
On a driver level, I still and always will believe that Lewis is the better driver. But
Yeah.
season-wise, because we're ranking them by what the season they've had and what they've done, I think I agree. Just
Indeed.
because I'm not saying that he's better than Lewis,
No.
but he's had a much better year. He's won 2, maybe 3 races. It's pretty hard to say, oh, no, Lewis was better this year. He had a better year than George. No, he didn't. Rob, anything else to say?
Free my mans. To be fair, it's real for the next driver that's coming up.
Who's that?
Who is it?
Carlos Sainz. Free my mans from the hell of that is Williams.
I always forget about Science, bless him. I think he's above Lewis.
Really?
Do I actually think that? Maybe just behind Lewis.
He's got 2 race wins.
No, hang on.
Which is
Yeah, no. Yeah, he is above Lewis.
I can't put him in okay. I would say that Science has been entirely forgettable this year. I'm going to say, similar to Lewis, 1, although he still had to work for it, he inherited Australia, because he wasn't going to win that if Verstappen was still in a race. Let's be honest. He wasn't.
Yeah, but to do that after coming straight back from appendicitis, though, it still is pretty incredible.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I completely agree on that. I'm just saying that in terms of actually winning a race, He wouldn't have done it if Max weren't there. But even to get a podium then, let alone fucking race it in the first place, that's pretty impressive.
He was really good in Mexico.
Where he won by just under 5 seconds.
Even as a Lewis fan, I can't justify putting Lewis above Sainz just because Sainz has, although yeah, maybe it was kind of forgettable just because what was going on around him. He's quietly had a really good season, and it has been in his classic Carlos way, very consistent.
Who's next? It is Oscar Piastri. I think he was great.
He was great, obviously.
Yeah, it's just where.
I want to put him ahead of Nico.
No.
No, I do.
No. If he had beaten Norris, then yeah, but no. I think
Charlie, the agenda's getting a bit much now.
he was in a Haas and he did mad.
Oh my god.
Looking at where he is in his career compared to Sainz, they've had quite similar seasons, but I think because he's that much younger and everything, I think, yeah, he needs to be above Sainz.
Yeah, but I mean, where he is in his career compared to fucking Hulkenberg, I put him above that. Like, you know.
No, but that's so. No, Hulkenberg's so far into his career, it's impressive how high he's performing. I think that's where that comes in. Yeah.
Why does Sainz look like fucking demented in this? He looks so fucking scary.
I think why Ocon looks weird to me in his picture. I don't know.
I don't know, man, because like Oscar's like he had a few lows this year, let's be honest. But like, yeah, Hulk's had a great year, but is it really better than that?
I think, yeah, I do, because I think coming off the bat of the end of last year, people were saying, I know you flirted with this idea a little bit, Jamie. People were saying, oh, Piastri will be right up there with Norris this year and might even finish ahead of him in the table. And yeah, it didn't happen. And I think compared to Hulkenberg could not have done much more in that Haas. All agree, both McLaren drivers and McLaren themselves bucked up this season on multiple occasions.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Whilst with Nico, there's not much more he could do with the machinery that he had. So
yeah, all right, I'll settle with you there. I don't know. Oscar had some fucking great moments this year. I'd put him higher, but I'm not gonna. There's that. Who's next?
Charles Leclerc.
Charles
Great.
Leclerc.
He's in good tier.
God
tier.
Yeah.
Don't
so,
care.
no. Yeah. No. Yeah. No. There's no.
What is that? I know Rob won't agree, and Jamie, you might not agree either, but I think when I think of like the most talented drivers on the grid, there are 3 that come to mind. I think
if Hulkenberg's in this, I swear to God.
Verstappen, Hamilton, and Leclerc are above any of the rest.
Max and Leclerc, yes. Hamilton, no, he's washed.
He's not. I completely agree because he's got to be there. I'm sorry, he won Monaco and Monza this year. That is enough.
He was briefly in the title hunt in that Ferrari.
Yeah, we won't talk about what happened after Monaco.
He won Monaco. He won Monza. He won in the US. And his consistency is incredible. Other than a few odd races here and there where it just didn't quite work out his way, he's constantly in the top 5.
Classic Leclerc, bad luck.
Yeah.
The most heartbreaking thing was, do you remember, like, it was 2022, I think it was, or was it 23, when he was on pole at Brazil, and on the formation lap, the hydraulics failed.
Oh my god, I remember that, yeah. I was so pissed off.
I honestly think this season was Leclerc's best. In general, the way he drove, I think this season has been really, really impressive. Just on how he's dealt with everything that's happened, and also, again, like Rob says, his consistency to always be there at the top.
I think the other thing is, he does it so quietly. You don't realise what a good race he's putting together until you get to the end.
And yet people were saying that they fired the wrong driver. Like,
yeah, that's just bullshit, man. I can't lie, I completely forgot he won in Texas. Jesus, that race is so forgettable. What actually happened in Texas other than Max running Lando off?
George running someone off.
Lando Norris.
Lando.
He was great. He was great.
I think God tier, honestly, despite the mistake.
I think
behind Leclerc, above George.
He
Objectively,
underperformed.
No. Objectively, he had a better season than George. There's no denying that. He made mistakes.
But it was too many to ignore.
He bottled a lot, mate.
So did McLaren, though.
Yeah, but do I need to pull up the graphic of the amount of pole positions that he got compared to the amount of race wins he got?
Yeah, I know, but like,
I mean, well, to be fair, if we're talking about that, look at fucking Leclerc's pole to win conversion. But
yeah. And also look at George, how far up the grid he sometimes started the race compared to Lewis, and then by the end of the race, Lewis has overtaken him.
well, we're not talking about Lewis.
He was in a title hunt. George
Yeah, for
wasn't.
like a race.
No, from the majority of the season. It was
No, that was forced. There was never a fucking title fight until Brazil, okay? Miami, until, I don't know, Singapore, the gap didn't really move. And that is unacceptable. I get that McLaren wasn't really that. People exaggerate how good Red Bull was. Okay, I've already seen Max fans acting like fucking Alonso fans at this point. They're like, oh, Max only had the third fastest car in 2022.
Yeah, no, they're just like, oh, he's the best driver.
He got pole with the seventh fastest car. Fuck off.
Yeah, like that tractor to a win, brother. Tractor.
I'm not going to go back and think of every race that Lando could have won, but there's a lot. There's a lot. George, he fucked up a lot, yeah, but that Mercedes was terrible. I think when he had the opportunity, he made the most of it, usually.
Lando, if he's going in God, he needs to go behind George. I'm not having him in front of George.
No,
I'll accept it. I'll accept that.
I'll put him in God tier because he's had such a good year and he came second. Fair enough, but I just fuck me. We've been recording for like 2 hours. I just don't think I can put him much higher than that, just because he is fucked up so much and it's been so bipolar. You know, he'll win by 20 seconds one race and then barely make it into the points the next. 4 wins is great when you look at it on paper, but when you look at the car he had for the majority of the season, it's fucking terrible. So yeah.
Particularly when you compare him to the next man, Max Verstappen, who had 8 poles and 9 wins.
Right.
Listen. I think
He's going to bring up another driver.
Put him behind Hulkenberg.
Rob, you saying that Max needs to be great is stupid. For the fact that I think he has to be in God tier
Yeah.
because he had an amazing season. This has come from a Lewis fan, and I hate Max for 2021. I think Max would be above Leclerc if it wasn't for the absolute terrorist acts that he did in Mexico and whenever the fuck it was.
He's done it again! That is a foul! You fucking little bastard!
There was Texas, there was Austria.
Yeah. Austria. All the things that we know Max for. When he gets desperate, he gets stupid. And I think if it wasn't for those acts of him being desperate, moving under braking, pushing people off, he'd be above Leclerc. Because he did do it. He did have an amazing season. He didn't have the fastest car for half the season, unlike a lot of Max fans saying he didn't have the fastest car for the entire season.
Thing is, as much as he was a prick with his driving, he still won the championship. You can say maybe if Lando wasn't Lando, then he'd have lost. But no, there's no point in talking about ifs. Being as he is the world champion, and that wouldn't always mean something, but I feel like I've got to put him above Leclerc because I'm not being funny. There were quite a few races this year where he didn't put a foot wrong. He just couldn't do a lot more. You know, I'm thinking Canada, Brazil, for just a couple of examples. Brazil is why he is regarded as one of the greats. Drives like that are just... No one can argue that was shit. You know, that was incredible. I will never believe he's a good wheel-to-wheel driver, but I just think he was, on a broad level, the best driver this year. Because if he wasn't, he wouldn't have won that championship because he did not have the car that he had last year.
Yeah, no, I respect it. I still think Leclerc, there's an argument for Leclerc to be above him.
I think it's only just, he's only just got the edge over Leclerc. Rob, thoughts?
I mean, I can't lie. It is what it is. He won. I can't argue with that.
And that is the end of the video. This is genuinely one of the worst tier lists I've ever looked at. I'm ashamed to put this on the channel. Anyway.
But it looks nothing like my tier list, so therefore I'm pissed.
When you put Gasly in God tier, I don't have anything else to say.
This video is dedicated to Alex Yoon. We started at like 9:50.
I wanted this to be a short one.